Hi and welcome to my review videos. This time I'm reviewing the M6A2E1 again. The M6A2E1 is a tier 8 premium American heavy tank and is for most people the worst tier 8 premium because of the poor gun, HP and maneuverability. As you may know, this is a pretty rare tank. It's not for sale. The way you unlock this tank is by playing the beta and buy the ultrastarterskit at the early days of the game. The gun is basically the same as the T29 its top gun, just with slightly more accuracy. Versus its own tier, it's not a bad tank, but it does have some problems in tier 9 and is practically useless in tier 10 battles. This tank will also not break any speed records. Although it does have a 950 horsepower engine, it is one of the heaviest tanks in the game with 70 tons of load capacity and makes it an excellent tank for ramming though. The top speed is 28 km an hour, but it doesn't really slow down on slopes a lot. On the bright side, it does have good armor, 191 frontal hull and turret armor, but it's poorly sloped. Don't let them flank you because it's only 43mm there on your side armor. The M6A2E1 does suffer from weak spots, like for example just below the gun mantle and around.
Let's go. Critical hit.
Overall, this tank can be fun, but it's only versus not that experienced players because of its armor and its weak spots. Okay, so welcome back to the garage. I hope you like the scripted phase, because it's the first time I'm doing it. The main reason why I'm doing that scripted phase is because, well, I'm reviewing a very rare tank, and I think a very rare tank can have a very rare review of it. I hope you like the scripted phase, because maybe I will do it in the future. Also, just leave a comment and we'll see if I will do that later on also. Now, the M6A2E1, what do I think about this tank? Well, for the old subscribers may know of me that I uploaded an M6A2E1 video like 2 years ago. And I was basically telling only good things about this tank because, well, back then this tank was a very good tank. It was only before the KV1, the KV5 and the Löwe. This was a very good tank. I mean, in the past the only premium tanks that you had were some premium tanks, like for example the T127 and Churchill 3. They are pretty long in the game. But the only tier 8 premiums that you got was the Löwe and the KV5 of the Russians. For the rest there was no other premium tank in tier 8. No, this tank was a pretty beast in tier 8. Why? Because it was the only American heavy premium tank. This tank was an absolute beast. It had lots of armor, but what you see here is actually nerfed. It used to be 203mm of frontal armor and 203mm of frontal turret armor. Now the armor on the sides is a little bit buffed if you poorly use it. It's only like 3mm thicker from what it used to be before. But the armor, the main reason why I hate this tank is because of the armor. Yes, I know the armor is the main objective of this tank, but I absolutely hate the armor. The armor is 191mm of poorly sloped armor. You poorly see anything. It's like 220 to 230mm of effective armor. Now the only tanks that can penetrate you in tier 8 are the IS-3 and a couple of tank destroyers. No, people, the reason why I started to dislike this tank was not because of the buffs and nerfs what Wargaming implanted into the game like a couple of patches ago. The main reason why I disliked this tank because of one patch. That was the patch when premium ammunition became available for credits. This tank is absolutely horrible. If people are starting to penetrate you, the hit points are already so low and they will go low even faster. Now you may say like, well, the T-34 is almost the same. The T-34 has poor maneuverability and armor also. No, the T-34 has an excellent gun. This gun is horrible, but it's absolutely horrible. It is a quite good gun in tier 8, but once if you go tier 9, there are a couple of tanks that you can penetrate, some of them even not. In tier 10 it's useless. If I land up in a tier 10, uh, I, I I will not be surprised if I ended up on the bottom of the list because of the penetration of this gun. I will talk about it later, but first the armor. The armor. People are not afraid to use premium ammunition anymore, and you do notice it. If an IS is penetrating me in the gun mantle of this tank, I think he is not shooting AP shells. No, the armor, it may seem very good on paper, but it's not in real life. Like for instance, well, I actually should not tell the weak spots on this tank, but let's do it anyways. The weak spot of this tank are here, and around the gun mantle. The only place where it's 191mm of turret armor is here on the gun mantle, and trust me, that gun mantle will bounce a couple of shots. But this thing here around is only 89mm of armor. It's basically the same armor as the armor on the sides of the turret the turret. So where do people shoot me? Well, mostly just below here. This is the most juiciest target of the whole tank, and also you will be surprised how many times people knock out your gun. Why? Because basically the gun is this big portion, but this small weak spot here will knock out your gun a lot of times, and like you see, it's absolutely huge. I mean, look at it. It's so big, and it's very difficult to hide it. Trust me, I've had it a lot. Well, sometimes it's in your favor. Like for example, if you want to peek around a rock, sometimes you can even peek around more heavily armored targets, like for instance an IS-6. You can just stand behind them and stick your turret out and let him take the shots. But it also will work into your I don't know the exactly word in English, the negative way, because it's so huge. This thing is absolutely an artillery magnet. You can't get a better example of an artillery magnet than the E100 or this tank. This tank is an absolutely artillery magnet. Why? Because it has so juicy armor on the sides. If artillery penetrates you on the side, you will be knocked out in one shot, trust me, and it's happened a lot of times to me. The best thing what you can do with this tank is just try to expose your frontal armor, but even if players do know where to shoot, this tank is becoming useless. I have had it so many times that my turret was sticking out and people are just, well, taking easy shots at my turret because they see this juicy thing here, and the M6A2E1 goes under a lot of names, like for instance the mutant, the bobblehead also, and I think, well, I once heard the M6, the alien bubble, I think it's called also. So the mutant 6, the mutant 6, the alien, and the bobblehead. Also the jumbo German, sometimes they call it also, or the obese German, but you probably hear it. Mostly it's the mutant 6. The way how you unlock this tank, I already told it in my scripted phase. But enough talking about the armor. Well, I should go into a little bit of detail. Don't ever try to side scrape with this tank. It's not a good thing also, because this side armor is just it's like it's screaming for being shot. The turret is 85mm on the side and 208mm. Used to be 203. It actually got buffed on this, but it's 208mm on the back of the turret. Guys, I've seen so many people just like for instance medium tanks circling around me and starting to shoot the back of the turret, because mostly the back of the turret is where your ammo rack will be, and I've seen so many people bouncing on the back of my turret because they don't know the exact armor. So if you see an M6A2E1 and you actually manage to get behind the tank, don't try to shoot this part of the turret. But again, it does have some weak spots, like for example the only place where you got 208mm of back armor will be on this place. This place, if you shoot an M6A2E1 here, you have a very high chance of taking out this turret ring. the engine is also very easy to hit because it's basically this big part of the tank what is very easy to hit because it's, well, it has poorly armored there. So the engine will be hit a lot of times, and we'll do a little break. Okay, so enough talking about the armor. Let's talk about, oh yeah, also this thing here is also a weak spot. Let's talk about the gun. The gun what you get is a 105mm gun. Now, for the guys who have ever played a T29, the 105mm on the M6A2E1 is basically the same as the T29 at Top Gun, just with slightly more accuracy, but slightly more accuracy. It's only like 0.01 more accuracy. The aiming time is the same. 320 average damage. You will be surprised. You will be surprised if you do 320 damage, because mostly it's around 250 or something like that. The penetration is 198, and it makes it one of the lowest penetrations of tier 8. 198 penetration is okay to use in tier 8, but it's basically useless in tier 9 and tier 10 battles. 254 millimeters of penetration with gold ammo. Well, it's okay. It's kinda good, but it's very expensive. Trust me, the gold ammo in this thing is very expensive. Like for instance, as you can see, you have to pay 12 gold or 4,800. So you will be, for a premium tank, you want to make money, not spend money. So you will poorly shoot gold rounds, and still it's very expensive, these gold rounds. So you will not be firing gold rounds. Mostly it's AP rounds, and plus the armor is not the armor penetration is not that better. Now the rate of fire is what kills this tank. 5 rounds per minute is absolutely horrible. You have such a bad cannon, and then you put a very low rate of fire on it also. This is the main reason why I dislike. The main reason why I dislike this tank is of the big size of it and of the gun. Mostly the gun. I absolutely hate it. Now the traverse speed of the turret is 23 degrees, and of the tracks is 24 degrees. So it is an average heavy tank. It's not that good, but it's not that horrible. And this is one of the first tanks what has actually a tier 8 radio, not a tier 10. It's very rare also, because basically it has the same armor as my M6A2E1. And then we have the engine. The engine is a very good engine. It has 960 horsepower. That's actually a fault for my scripted version. It is 960. Well, it used to be 1000, and then they nerfed it to 950, and then they buffed it to 960 horsepower. This tank will always be buffed and nerfed around. But let's go to the big question. How much does it earn? Not a lot. You're better off with buying a tier 8 premium tank, because well, this tank used to have very low earnings, but very low earnings. Like for example, if I drove the same tank and I got the same amount of experience, I would have 2 times the amount of credits what I received on this tank. No, Wargaming did buff it for 30% extra credits, because it was absolutely horrible. There was no reason to drive this tank. I mean, I've seen lots of people just selling this tank. That's the main reason why you don't see it a lot anymore, because most people sold it. So the credit earnings are not that bad anymore, but they're still not the same as a regular tier 8 premium, because, well, Wargaming still wants to sell you a $50 tank. So the earnings are very widely spread. Like for example, sometimes you think like, well, that was an awesome game, and you only earn like 50,000 credits, and sometimes you have like, well, that was an average game, and suddenly you see that you have earned 90,000 credits. I still don't know exactly how it works, so but let's jump into the consumables. Well, if you have an M6A2E1, this is pretty handy for you. But what I recommend for you is improved ventilation class. Can become a handy skill to have though. I'm sorry, equipment. I think it's called equipment. Yes, equipment. Plus 5% raw crew skills, because then you have a better load, better maneuverability, and you will use an honest tank though. Minus 10% reload time is a pretty handy thing to have, because this tank reloads every 12 seconds, and every 12 seconds will kill you, trust me. So that extra 1.5 seconds will save your life sometimes. Heavy spar liner, yes, absolutely, go for it. Just mount a heavy spar liner on it. Artillery will be absolutely focusing. If you drive a rear tank, be sure to get focused, trust me. The main reason why I can still drive this tank like an average player is because I have over 2000 games in it, and people will be focusing you, trust me. If there was a tier 10 driving, I mean, I've seen it in lots of games, there's a tier 10 driving like just behind my ass. He's only on 100 HP and it's easy kill for the enemy, and the enemy still goes for you. And I've had people telling me in comments like, well, I'm going to kill that M6A2E1, I'm going to kill that M6A2E1. You are not going to earn a medal for it. If you want your I think it's called mastery badge, I'm not sure. The mastery badge doesn't count for rare tanks. It doesn't count for an M6A2E1. You don't have to shoot an M6A2E1 down to get the mastery badge USA. So this is the main reason why I dislike this tank, because most people want to shoot at you. I'm still considering like buying T-34 or something like that. So what you get here is plus 10% to aiming speed. Yes, please have it. The aiming speed is not that bad, but it's not that good. So enhanced gun length device, maybe if it's for your choice, you can swap it with an improved ventilation class. That's your choice. Ammo rack, not really. The ammo rack is, well, mostly a repair, but it's not that horrible though. Vertical stabilizer, yes and no, it depends. The accuracy on the move is still very good. When I got this tank, when I put these consumables on, is when my dad played the game, and he doesn't anymore. So if you see like rare consumables, it's not for me. I'm going to buy that heavy spar liner and that large caliber tank gun rammer. So skills on your crew member. What do you want to have for skills on your crew member? Well, first of all, 6th sense. 6th sense is always the first thing I research. No, the second thing what you have is not camouflage, because this tank is big as hell and that extra camouflage is not going to help you. Borders and arms, yes, borders and arms is a must have. And again, I didn't choose these crew skills, so don't start to flame in the comments on me. It's not me. Eagle Eye is a good thing to have though. This is the first time I actually recommend Eagle Eye, because mostly you're aiming at him while you're waiting for your reload, and at least he can see what you did for critical damage. Mentor, yes, because this is a premium tank and you will need that extra amount of experience, because like you can see I have 4 crew skills, but the crew skills will upgrade slower and slower. I mean, that 88%, if I wanted to bump it to 89%, I have to play 50 games. This is no joke. I have to play 50 games to get it to 89%. So mentor is a must have. And of course jack of all trades, so you don't have to raise another medic kit and waste some extra money. For the gunner, armor, if your gun is damaged, you basically fucked, because the accuracy is not that good in this tank. Snapshot, yes and no, it depends if you have a slot open or not. Doesn't at the target, no. Deadeye, yes, because mostly shooting AP shells, and these shells for some reason can do some critical damage. And then on the driver, what I recommend for you, well, the driver has to have a lot of, well, the first thing what you probably have to research is controlled impact, because this tank is heavy as shit and you will do a lot of damage to them if they crash into you. Smooth ride, yes and no. I think I would go for clutch baking first, because the rotation speed of this tank is not one of its best. Off-road driving, if this tank drives through swamps or water, it absolutely slopes down a lot. So off-road driving, go for off-road driving and then go for smooth ride or something like that. Also, this is one of the first times I recommend for you to use this thing here, so you don't have so much engine failure. Now what I recommend for you to use on the radio man is, well, first of all, signal boosting, because the signal of this radio is absolutely horrible. So just go for the first thing, for signal boosting. After that I would go for relaying, because as a heavy tank you're mostly inside your team, you're not in front, you're not on the back, mostly inside of the team, and you help your team by choosing this this cruise skill. So that's it actually about the radio man. You only need like 2 cruise skills. Now what to go for the loader is adrenaline is the first thing I would research, and anti-tuition not in particular, because mostly I'm shooting HE shells, AP shells. Say storage, yes, because this tank it's not that horrible as the Chinese tank, but it does suffer from MRX. So your MRX will be hit a lot of times, and if you have to base another 3000 credits, it's just another 3000 credits wasted for buying your next tank. So that's it in the garage, and oops, I forgot to let you see the shell setup. Well, what I do is mostly AP shells, a few HG shells, like 10 or something like that. 10 is enough, 10 HG shells, and 5 gold shells or something like that for in case of emergency, if it's really depending on you. But this is like the perfect setup. Now for consumables, I would not go for the octane gasoline, because you have to pay 5000 credits to get that extra 5%. Well, that extra 5% horsepower is going to help you though, but you want to earn money on this tank, not spend. If you want to play this tank for fun, just buy it. But that's it, and I will see you in the gameplays. I have actually 3 gameplays coming up, so see ya.
Time to roll out.
Okay, so welcome back to the first gameplay. From this gameplay I got 1750 experience. No, I've had a game where I got 2000, I think 2150 experience, but I forgot to I forgot to record it, and the new update deleted it, because every time there is a new update I have to pre-record some gameplays that are very good, because for some reason I can't play them in a different version of the server. So I'm sorry for that, but here you have a 1750 experience game. What's still a very good game though, and it does show you the strengths and weaknesses of this tank. I have 2 gameplays coming up. One gameplay where I got very high amount of experience, and one gameplay where I show you off what this tank is good at, and you will see it later, and I'm not going to say it now. You will see it in the second gameplay. I said in the garage that I was going to do 3 gameplays, but I think I'm better not do it, because otherwise this video will be getting too long. And like you see, I hit it at, I think it's an SU, I'm not sure. Yes, an SU 152, and I only did like 300 damage to him. No, I'm still aiming at him, and can I hit him? Can I hit him? Yes, there he is, and boom, got him. No, the accuracy sometimes will amaze you, but sometimes it's going to troll you over and over again. It's a little bit like if you ever played the Yachty. The Yachty is has a very accurate gun. Sometimes you just want to sell the tank, because sometimes it can miss so many shots. No, I'm just taking some free shots here. I mean, they're exposing their weak spots. I mean, they're exposing their sidearm, and why not fire at them? Now, as you can see, this is a tier 8 game. If you go into tier 10, I mean, in tier 8, I'm an absolute beast. No question about it. This tank is a very good tier 8 tank for its own tier. But once if you go 1 tier higher, I mean, I shouldn't complain a lot about the penetration, because I know that the IS-6 has a worse penetration, but still the IS-6 has lots of damage and very good armor all around. This tank has only good armor on frontal, and the gun has a lot less damage than the IS-6 does. So probably hit the front of its turret there. It's all, well, shit happens, so let's move on. And there we go, he's exposing the juicy side armor, and boom, 216 damage. Just below average, but it still killed him. So what I'm doing here is I'm rolling towards that ice tree, trying to take one shot before he's going down. I got top game from it. No, I didn't get top game from it. There we go, 336. Well, the T-34 versus the M6A2E1. Like, for example, if Wargaming ever puts the M6A2E1 back on sale, what is the best tank to have? Well, I would go with the T-34, because the T-34 is a much better gun. I mean, the T-34 is actually a tier 9 gun. The T-34 used to be a tier 9, and it's basically not being nerfed that high. That was the M6A2E1 has a worse gun, but it does have more armor. Like, for example, if a T-34 is driving towards you and is exposing his hull armor, everything nearly can penetrate the T-34's hull armor. But the M6A2E1 is a pretty tough nut to crack though, frontally, if they are not using premium ammo. And actually very surprised that the IS-3 didn't penetrate me. And he actually shot below my turret, and he didn't penetrate me. That was not his luckiest day, because mostly where people will penetrate you is on the side of the turrets and below the turret. So I'm just taking 3 shots here. I mean, why not? The whole team is waiting there, and I have to help my team. Just easy shots, easy shots. And there we go, T-44 knocked out. No, there was a thing at T-54, no, Type 59. So I said like, look, get out the mountain, there are only like 2 guys remaining, just encircle them to death. So there we go, and I think the Type 59 will be soon finished off by the team. And I will speed up this part because there's not really much happening anymore. I got, like I said, this tank is an artillery magnus because it's so big and it's a very rare tank. And trust me, people will kill rare tanks. Like, for example, if you know of the channel Jingles, if you ever watched Mingles with Jingles and you watch his War Thunder videos, the main reason why Jingles dislikes War Thunder is because of its fan community and always wants to kill you. It's exactly the same as in the M6A2E1. Everyone wants to kill you. And that's the main reason why I dislike this tank. If they ever put it back on sale and everyone has an M6A2E1, I will be less focused and I will be having more fun to drive this tank. And yes, I'm still driving this tank to earn money. So there we go, he will be soon finished off. There we go, we ended this video. I will let you see the stats of it. Okay, so last game of the M6A2E1. But Fallout, is it really that bad, the armor? Well, this video will prove you the exactly opposite of what I just said about the armor, because the whole team was bouncing on me, and you will see it in the stats later on of the gameplay how much potential damage I received. It's absolutely ridiculous. If there was a challenge like if you have a higher potential damage than like 5 times your own HP, I should have won it, because the amount of potential damage was too damn high. So there was an M6A12T there, and here you're going to see an exactly example how great the reload speed is on this. Now you don't see the chassis of this tank, but he's taking shots at artillery at a very rapid speed. If I loaded 2 seconds earlier or 1 second earlier, I saved the artillery. The reload speed is actually just horrible on this tank. It's not good at all. It's still better than T-34 though, I think. T-34 is every, I think, 4 rounds per minute, and this one is 5 rounds per minute. And there I took another snapshot at the T-34-85 and I killed him.
They're knocked
Oh,
out.
T-43, sorry. So let me speed up this part because this is just a camper gameplay.
Enemy armor
Took a
is
shot here.
damaged.
And moving on. I wanted to, the reason why I speed up this part, or speed up the whole video, is because I don't want to make it such a long video. So there we go, and taking some blind shots in the hope that I will hit somebody. So what Wargaming did is to make this tank
Enemy
more,
armor is hit.
yeah, well, that you can earn more credits of it. Well, in the past, this ammo on this thing used to be very expensive. It's like, I think 1300 credits per shell, what's a pretty high amount of. The cost of one shell is now 1000 credits, and that's a pretty high amount of, well, credits to pay for such a low. I mean, the gun is not like you're going to save a game by it. So why do you ask that much money? 1000 credits is very much. Is a lot. It used to be 1300. Luckily, Wargaming buffed it, or nerfed it. I don't know, buff or nerf. So, also the repair cost of this tank decreased. Also, the repair cost of this tank is actually not bad at all. So what I'm trying here to do is shooting the T-28 at cheeks. The T-28 at cheeks are very juicy targets, but I do not have the accuracy therefore. And look at this, I'm just bouncing like crazy. I mean,
We're
boom,
immobilized.
bones. I saw the bone, another bones.
Let's go. Critical hit.
Can I receive another bones? There we go, another bones. Oh, another bones. So another. How many bonuses did you all ever roll? I think 15 or 17. And they do not know where to shoot. That's the best part of this
Track hit.
video. They do not know where to shoot. They're all shooting at my gun mantle and at my frontal armor. They do not know where to shoot. I don't know how many bonuses I got in this game, but it is a lot. So what I'm doing here is I'm waiting till my team arrives from the forest and that we can at least push up a bit. I'm going to so what I said to the enemy team was like, start loading the gold shells, ladies, because, well, people are not afraid to use gold shells anymore on you. So we have a T-32 and I was thinking like, can I hit him, but no. The accuracy is not that good to hit his sweet spots from here. So we have a nice 6, bones on him of course. If you shoot a nice 6 on the side armor with a regular tier 8 premium or a normal tier 8, you will penetrate, but for some reason if you shoot on the sides of an i6 you will not penetrate with this gun because of the spaced armor. The penetration of this gun is too low. And even bones here. Explain me why I bounced on this T-28. So that's the gameplays, and I'll see you in the garage to have some little bit more talking about this. Okay, so that's it, and overall this tank is, if they ever put it back on sale, don't buy it. The reason why I still use it is because I still use this tank as a premium tank and to earn money. It is not a bad credit earner, but I've seen on friends' account that the T-34 for example has much better credit earning than the M6A2E1. I mean the armor, well, this tank is average. Well, it's kinda below average on every single aspect except armor. It is good armor, but trust me, in tier 9 and tier 10 people will penetrate you and people are not afraid to use gold anymore. So the armor is actually becoming useless. it's not that good anymore. It used to be very good, and it's big as hell, and everyone's want to shoot the sheriff. This tank is just a magnet to artillery and other players. Everyone wants to kill this tank. Doesn't matter if there's a tier 10 what can do over 2000 damage per shot. They want to kill you. But that's it, and I'm going to end this video. This video, by the way, was suggested by a subscriber. So let's end this video. Democracy and rules, and you can choose a tank for my garage. What do you want me to see review next? Place it in the comments below, and also try to check out my channels so you know what tanks I've already reviewed. Next week I'm going to do the T-34-1. I absolutely love this tank. I have over 750 average experience in it, with a very high amount for such. Well, it's not actually that good, but if you know how to drive it, you can have the full opportunity for it. So get subscribed. I think I'm going to do one on a map tactics video between us, so it will be in 2 or 1 week, we'll see. So that's it, and I'm Paul, and bye.